Welcome to StartToSizzle.com, where you can find love, connect with like-minded professionals, and unlock your truest purpose. Today's video is sponsored by Jewelry by Tresseria. We welcome you now to today's video. Welcome to this interview with Sonali Kukreja. Sonali is a psychologist as well as a relationship and life coach. Sonali has been so kind and willing to come to speak to us today about our key theme about overcoming past hurts and embracing 2021 in a very, very optimistic and enthusiastic way, particularly with regard to online dating and relationships. So have you been hurt in the past, or are you apprehensive about online dating? Are you excited about, finding your true love? This interview is for you. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Sonali. Welcome, Sonali, to this interview. I'm so grateful. Welcome.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. Sonali, you're in Florida. I'm in Trinidad and Tobago. The beauty of technology is amazing.
Yes, thanks to technology, always.
Sonali, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your background as a relationship coach?
It actually happened when we had a lockdown last year.
Right.
And I was on a break from work due to COVID.
Right.
Feeling not so sure and thinking, what's in the future for me?
Right.
While I was reflecting on my life, something just hit me like a lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go back to psychology. That's my background.
Okay.
And why specifically working with relationships? Because that's what fascinated me always. Even my PhD research in India, I studied marital adjustment. I was interested what factors are important in success or how conflicts can be resolved. And it hurt me very much, whenever I saw disagreements between couples, including my own.
Right.
So I made full use of my time staying at home. I immersed myself into studying and learning how to make relationships fulfilling and healthy. Basically, you can say I reinvented myself.
Right.
I felt it was my calling, my purpose to bring healing, love, and wisdom into the world with my thoughts and actions. And I would say the universe backed me up with science, confirming my purpose. All I did was pay attention.
I'm jumping right in. Why, in your experience, do you think it is hard for single professionals, single entrepreneurs to find love?
Oh, Maria, this pandemic has made it harder for singles to meet people, regardless of what generations we talk about.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is, thanks to the online dating sites, they still have a chance. Mm-hmm. I personally feel it's a great medium to find love, especially for professionals who don't have time to go out and meet people. And now, especially because of this COVID thing, there are no get-togethers anymore. And then you have masks all the time on your face. So there is not even a chance to talk to someone at a grocery store.
It is true.
And thanks to technology, again, we can use technology to our advantage, and it is helping us to connect with other people all over the world.
Right. So what is your view, therefore, specifically on online dating?
I would say signing up for online dating sites can seem daunting to some, but you've got to take a chance.
Yes.
If you don't, what's going to happen? Nothing.
That is true.
Yes, you've got to take a chance, right? And life is not a spectator sport. You have to get out of the stands and participate. You got to take some action.
Yes.
And you don't know until you try it.
You never know until you try, yeah.
Yeah, you have got to try, right? I mean, if you're just sitting and doing nothing, you won't know what's out there. True. So when you are here on online dating sites, you get to at least, check out a person's profile and talk to them. That can help you decide if it's worth meeting in person or not. If you're really, really looking for a love partner, then you have to make time, just like you make time for your work, business, and your favorite activities with no excuses whatsoever.
I agree. Now, Sonali, we do have some people who may be questioning, you know, I've been hurt before. I'm very, very timid or cautious or apprehensive about trying online dating. Or maybe they've been hurt before in the past via online dating. Or, they just have heard, maybe they have not experienced it personally, but they heard about, horror stories perhaps about online dating. What do you say to somebody like that? Especially as we're at the start of this new year and they want to find love, they want to find this connection. As you mentioned, the pandemic is still going on. And so online dating is perhaps one of the most direct ways for people to link now. But what do you say to somebody who is cautious, afraid, apprehensive, and has been hurt before?
Yes, I get that. I understand what you're saying. Many people are apprehensive because of their bad past experiences. And whatever the reasons they have. It is good to be cautious, but some are way overcautious and they self-sabotage. My first and foremost question would be for them, are you really ready to find love, or are you looking for someone because you are bored or feeling lonely? Or is it because you are working from home and you have this, flexibility of using this time? I want you to ask yourself some questions. For example, am I emotionally available? Do I have time to invest in a relationship? Am I open to other races or cultures? Because questions like these will help you narrow down your search. There are quite a few dating sites that are created to find love. Starttosizzle.com is one of them that is designed specifically for long-term love connections and not for quick hookups. So see what you're looking for and sign up accordingly.
Very good. I think the essence is fear, and people, we just need to overcome that fear. As you were saying, you won't know unless you try. It's daunting, but you won't know unless you try. Right. Another big thing when it comes to dating and online dating, particularly, is rejection, fear of rejection. That word fear is cropping up again. What tips and advice do you have for people who are afraid of rejection?
Yes. So I want to tell everyone that we cannot be liked by everyone, period. Rejections are part of the dating world, or in just life in general. It happens both ways. Some, you may feel doesn't fit well with you. You feel that they will not blend well in your lives. And sometimes they feel that you're not the right fit. So it goes both ways. But that makes people feel frustrated and they say, okay, I'm done with these online dating sites. I say, don't take this as personal, even if it happens after you have had a few conversations. It means your goals just didn't align. Think it in a manner that things happen for a reason. There's something better planned for you by the universe in the grand scheme of land. You just need to keep patience. You may also have people saying, there's no one for me. It is so hard to find someone. I want you to listen to yourself when you say that. What do you hear? Negativity. You see, you're putting a negative statement out in the universe.
Right.
But that is past. If you go with an attitude, this won't work, then it won't work. If thoughts are coming out in words, which you are speaking, then it becomes a reality. And then you again question, why does it happen with me all the time? Why me? Well, there's your answer right there. That's what you're feeding your brain because you have had few bad experiences. And then what your brain does is it tries to protect you. The brain doesn't try to be fair. But let me remind you, this COVID thing has put a lot of restrictions on us. So all of you need to up your tolerance level and creative ways to get to the next level. Past the rejections.
Yes, yes. I like when he said, do not take it personally. It's hard, easier said than done, but it is so important to not. Yeah, and so go for it. I think step out of the comfort zone and go brave. Some you will win, some you will not. And the ones that, as they say, that you don't win, you're better off in the long run, I believe.
Yes.
A very important question. In a lot of cultures, men are not willing to put themselves out there in the online dating world. They may be, I don't know, again, apprehensive, embarrassed, perhaps, I'm not too sure. But what do you say to men who may not feel comfortable with the online dating, especially as this is 2021, the pandemic is still going on, and this is a way that they can potentially meet their future long-term girlfriend or wife? What do you say to men?
Oh, discomfort, apprehensions, cultural differences. Oh, I can totally relate to that. I come from a culture where they have, excuse me, they have arranged marriages.
Right.
And till date, arranged marriages are happening over there. Advertising matrimonial in the newspapers is still very popular. Growing up in India and now living in the US gives me actually a better understanding of both the worlds. I understand both Eastern and Western perspectives. So I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So when I signed up for online dating, it was all very much new to me. Like, man, I was very uncomfortable and skeptical myself in the beginning. But I said to myself, you know what, Sonali, this is a good option for now. Since we are in the pandemic, let me just jump in, test the waters, keep my mind open and see what happens. And I'm glad that I did.
Very good.
So start conversations with some people and see how you feel. And if you feel some connection somewhere, you never know, move forward to meet them. But don't feel pressure to be liked. If it works, it's fine. And if it doesn't, then that is also fine. All you have to do is ask some genuine questions and really listen to the response, basically getting out of the comfort zone and just try it. There's nothing to lose.
Now, you mentioned the word conversation, which is at the heart of this whole online dating thing. There are people who may not be natural conversationalists. They may be insecure, they may be introverted, just maybe not comfortable all in all with conversing with someone new. How do I begin to talk to this person? Or, you know, what advice do you have for someone like that? Because that is quite real and prevalent. What advice do you have for people who are not naturally comfortable with conversation?
Well, Maria, I'm glad that you are talking about introverts. Yes, that's very, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say online dating is an advantage for introverts. You know why? Because they are sitting behind the computer in the comfort of their home. They don't have to talk to 10 people in a group. It is fun. And introverts are good at expressing themselves in writing. So nobody's, looking at them. They're just sitting behind the computer. But just be honest to your potential interest, whoever you're talking to. Be comfortable and own who you are. So now what I'm saying is especially for men. So when you like someone and you want to send a message, don't send every potential match with a basic message like, hey there, hey you, hey, how are you doing? Women find that impersonal and unimpressive.
Sure.
You got to engage her in some interesting conversation. Times have changed, my dear. Women are more educated now than previous generations, less financially dependent on men. So they are more particular now choosing a life partner for themselves. For example, okay, before I give you an example, I have to say, please read the profile of a person you're sending a message to carefully. We're talking about conversations here. So pick something from their profile and start with a small talk. Once the conversation gets going, you will feel more relaxed. This will also show your interest and seriousness. For instance, let me share my true story example here. So I was on this dating site and I had mentioned in my profile that having similar interests are very important to me. And while browsing profiles, I came across that I really, really liked, one person, but some of our interests didn't match. And to me, it seemed like they were a big part of his life. So I passed him and kept browsing. And then I get a message later from him talking about us having similar interests. I was like, okay. I was thinking we have very few similar interests and he's talking how similar we are. I thought that was some positive attitude. And then I told him how I liked his profile and some of his activities I thought was too strong for me. And I passed thinking that's not the right match for me. but his confidence of approaching me saying that we don't have to have all our interests the same, that made me think. And I said, all right, let me give it a try with my open mind and see how I feel. His confidence, the way he approached me, grabbed my attention. And that he went through my profile and he talked about specific things and not just interests that I'd written about. So read their profiles, and you can pick little things from there and start, small talk from there, and you can see how it follows the conversation. Go with the flow then.
Don't mean to pry, but did it work out?
No, it didn't. We realized it later that we didn't align at some important levels,
Okay.
which we thought in the beginning we did. But I learned a lot from that experience. I thought I knew what I wanted in a relationship or in a person and what my non-negotiables were, but I was wrong. As I met different people, I discovered more and more about myself. So that's what I want to say to this everybody who is out there finding themselves a life partner. Don't get disheartened. You learn and discover about yourself so much from every experience. If you stay in the present and enjoy the process of meeting every potential person with an open and positive mind, you will come out of this experience more confident and self-aware. Okay, back to messages. I was talking to men.
No, it's good. It's good. A lot to unpack with that, because first of all, if we could say that one thing that you mentioned there, don't be too quick to write off someone. You never know. You never know, because you learned a lot from this guy. You all were able to converse, even though it didn't work out in the end. You still had an opportunity to learn about each other. So I think that's a very good point for people to be aware of. But one of the things that you said that's so integral, Sonali, is that yes, you have interest with the person, you connect, you may be even attracted to the person, which I think is the first step for a lot of people. You see the profile picture, ooh, this person's good, and then you see the interest. All right, cool. But you mentioned something very, very, very important. You said non-negotiables, or your fundamental moral beliefs, or whatever it may be that is crucial to you. Speak on that for us a bit, because that is another key aspect of online dating, meeting somebody new. You may be attracted, tick. You may have interest, tick. But when it comes to fundamentals, your own personal non-negotiables, what advice do you have there?
I say non-negotiables are very important to factor in. They are the traits that we do not want to compromise on and cannot sacrifice in our relationship. I say write it down, your deal breakers, which are non-negotiables, somewhere between 3 to 5, and not more than that, and stick to them, because these are the things that make you who you are, and you don't want to compromise on your core values no matter what.
True.
Many of us, all of us do that, ignore them in the beginning because it's all good. But these non-negotiable things, they tend to creep in after a while. That is when one person starts to feel suffocated and they start running in the opposite direction. I know it is difficult to do it when you see so many other great qualities in a person, but stay true to yourself. Know your worth. Just remind yourself that you're worthy. Don't worry, you will find someone that you align well. But I also want to remind everybody that at the same time, there are many needs and wants that can be worked on. You just cannot say, okay, this is not working, then nothing will work. There are things that can be worked on to thrive in your relationship if you are willing to respect one another's needs and work together towards finding solutions. You can have a fulfilling and happy relationship. Healthy relationships depend on the right balance of not getting distracted from your core values and making adjustments. So it's a combination of both. Your core values, sticking to your core values, and making adjustments.
I love that. I love that. So now let's say one of my Starter Sizzle members find two people. They really click, and they want to take this relationship to the next level. They want to go one-on-one conversation and see if they could build a relationship. Any tips you have for them and precautions in general, do you have? Well, let's deal with the tips first for the next stage.
So yes, people, that they are ready. The next obvious, step would be to take to the phone conversations and video talking if
Mm-hmm.
they find that somebody is, they like somebody.
Yeah.
You want to make sure the person you're conversing with online, because that's how you start, is real and genuine.
Yes.
It is very common for people to lie about their age and putting photos from their younger times, or even using someone else's pictures. Um, this happens a lot. This will save your time and effort invested, if you end up realizing you got matched with the wrong person. And
Mm-hmm.
if all goes well, don't rush into things and lose yourself. Dating and new relationships can be very addictive. So find a balance, I would say. Also, let's not forget this COVID is not going away anytime soon. See if you both agree on taking physical precautions or not. Ask questions how they feel about wearing masks. Have they been traveling somewhere or been in big groups or tested for COVID? Or do they have any signs or symptoms before you meet them in person?
Good point. Very good point. And
Mhm.
you spoke on very practical precautions that people need to take, especially in the light of what's going on right now. But in general, with regard to online dating, what are the precautions, the red flags people need to be aware of when embarking on this?
Well, when we talk about information wise, the
Yeah.
information that we give online, don't give out your home or work address or your phone numbers. Do not post, put pictures of your children.
No.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what kind of people are there.
Mm-hmm.
Interaction wise, be careful if someone asks for money, especially after a few conversations when they feel that, you're comfortable now, you're into them. It happened to one of my female clients, actually. She was smart enough to understand that and blocked him. But in many cases, people believe and give in to the lies.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to look for when they refuse to video chat with you. I think video chatting is very important. I know some people are shy, but if you're talking to them for a while, you will know if they are being shy or they're trying to hide something. Video chatting helps you know who you were talking to and if it's a real person. And there are a few other unfortunate things happening all the time, and that can be very frustrating. I'm sure everyone has heard about breadcrumbing. I'll still tell you what it is in some case, people are new to this world as I was when I started. It basically means that, someone constantly stays in touch with you with no intention of taking further. They will send you texts here and there just to keep you around as a backup, they will keep making excuses to talk to you on a regular basis or even see you in person. It happened with me, so I understand how it happens, how frustrating it is. Please
Mm-hmm.
be honest. I say, please be honest and communicate the truth. Let them know that you're seeing other people so that they know where they stand. Or if you're not sure yourself, express that too. Just communicate everything. Be honest, I'd say. And if you're the one who is being breadcrumbed, like I felt, I was breadcrumbed, you
Mm-hmm.
have every right to tell the person that this is not acceptable.
Exactly.
Another unfortunate habit is ghosting, very common. It means when someone you're talking to suddenly stops communicating with you without explanation. I know you don't want to get into back and forth discussions or give any explanations because you feel that you're not into a committed relationship, so you're not obliged to explain. You don't even know each other's dislikes and likes yet. Then why do you have to give any reason to leave? But that doesn't mean you leave without saying anything. This is considered rude. I would say be polite to the person. General etiquette requires that if you feel that he or she is not the right match for you, don't just disappear. Just say something and leave. But if the other person gets into a discussion or tries to convince you, then yes, keep quiet and you don't owe any justification. Then there is orbiting, the new terminology coming up. That is
What
another
is
thing.
orbiting?
Yeah. And some people like, who are new as I was, I didn't know what all these were. So that is another thing that you need to be aware of. Sometimes what happens is the person who has left your life, you stop, interacting with, still follows you on social media. And once in a while, they will just click and like your post. And you're like, I thought we
Where did you come from? Yeah.
where did they come from?
Yes.
Again. So this sends a kind of mixed message to the person who is being orbited. For
Mm-hmm.
some, it may be flattering because they feel, oh, they still like them. But for some, it is upsetting because it slows them down to move on because it's kind of mixed message, like I said. they don't know if they want to come back, or they're sending signal that, just to let them know that they exist and they're still thinking about them. It makes it difficult for them to move on. So what you can do in that case is, when you start talking to someone, communicate in the beginning what you're looking for in a relationship. Set your boundaries, because many times we don't set our boundaries, and this is what happens then, and you get into confusion. Do not be afraid to express what your wants and needs are. Don't suffer silently. Communication is very, very important. It is the key. So whoever, this is for who do these things. So whatever you do, just reverse it and think, what if the other person does the same with you?
Exactly.
How would you feel?
Good points there, Sonali. I think one thing that's very key is that, well, first of all, I think ghosting, orbiting, and breadcrumbing, that could be an entire conversation in itself. I think so. I think so, because I think a lot of people have experienced this, are continuing to experience this. But I think it's essential, if you are, embarking on online dating, for you yourself to be discerning, for you yourself to take your time, as Sonali was saying, and set up your own precautionary barriers in place, because people will continue to ghost, they will continue to orbit, they will continue to breadcrumb, and you have to be able to be discerning and step back and take your time before falling completely for this person who, as Sonali was saying, may just not be serious, and you're doing the same thing to a million other men or women, depending on who it is. So you be careful, take your time, and don't fully invest all your heart, your wonderful self into somebody until, as Sonali said, you know for sure this person is genuine. I love that word, genuine. And it takes a while before you realize or know if somebody is truly genuine. So give yourself that time, talk to them. Video chat is important, because there's a great way to verify it, well, as best as possible, because they could still find a way to work around that. But
yes.
Yeah. Starter Sizzle has a video chat feature, FYI, and so Sonali endorses it, and I think it's really good. It's a good way, if you're elevating to the next level, to hopefully see who you're talking to, hopefully that person. But again, be safe, take all the necessary precautions. Don't give out your personal information until you reach a point, and that has to be at some point where you know for certain that this person is trustworthy, and they also know from you that you also are trustworthy. So take your time. It's not a sprint,
Yes.
When it comes to your heart, it's not a sprint. So Sonali, you are a font of information, a wealth of information. It's been amazing talking to you. And I think this message is a very, very good one to start the year, because what a year 2020 was. And, life still continued in some form or fashion, and people were, engaging in online dating, engaging in other ways of in other relationships that may have failed. But people want love, they want connection. Yes. And I think your message is very, very, very integral for people starting anew. One of the key things I think that, you've said is, yes, there's going to be fear, there's going to be doubt, you have scars, but breathe and try. And be safe, of course, take your precautions, but you will never know unless you try. So is there anything you'd like to say to wrap up? Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I would say you're here to find love, right? You're not here to win a person. So don't get into manipulations and power plays. Get out of your comfort zone. Both of us have repeated many times, get out of your comfort zone. There are plenty of good people in this world. Keep trying, don't give up, and you will find someone amazing. When we date mindfully and authentically, dating becomes a joyful experience. We make an agreement with ourselves. We are enough. Be yourself, be genuine, and I know you will do great. And who knows, you have an amazing love story to tell later that you met me during COVID.
Exactly. So Sonali, we will put up your details on the screen, but if you'd like to, advise my viewers about your contact information, she is a practicing relationship and life coach. So if you'd like to share your contact with us.
Oh, thank you. Well, you can find me on my website, www.lovelifecoachexo.com, where you can learn more about me and my coaching. Right. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Feel free to text me at 561-425-8530 with any questions, or email me at coachwithsonali@gmail.com.
And Sonali, is this for local persons in Florida only, or are you open to the rest of America or the world? Are you?
All over the world, because it's virtual. Everything is online. So yeah, I have a lot of clients from different countries, from India also.
Very good. Hopefully you'll be getting some clients from Trinidad and Tobago. That's where we're from, and that's where Sansimo is based, and the Caribbean region by extension. So I would be great. I would be get some of our amazing, professionals coming to you for guidance. That would be wonderful.
Be happy to help.
Sonali, so we join the whole Starter Sizzle team. We wish to thank you very, very much for coming today to speak with us on this important topic. And we want to wish you and your business all the success for 2021 and beyond. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to you and your team for having me, and wish you all the luck.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all for watching. And we have Sonali's information back up on the screen here for you to see. Feel free to contact her. And yeah, all the best, and may love be yours in 2021 and beyond. Thank you.